talk about a global scholar, we're talking about someone who knows the world, knows their place in it, and understand that it's just not one little place on a map, Philadelphia, that it is the entire world that we are a part of. K-2 travels Philadelphia. 3rd and 4th grade, they study Pennsylvania. So they go to the Amish country, they go to Harrisburg, and they go to places around Pennsylvania. 5th grade studies the nation, and they go to D.C. 6th grade studies the civil rights movement.
We went to the Black Wax Museum.
For us, you have to know where you came from in order for you to go forward.
My favorite part was when we went to another school, Drew Charter School in Atlanta, and the 6th graders combined with their 6th graders because they had a lot in common. It was fun.
And they go to Atlanta and to Memphis to see where Dr. King was born and where he died.
But we saw the room where Dr. Martin Luther King was staying in. We actually went up to where he was, the balcony, and we went and we saw the firehouse where the gunshots were supposedly came from. Then we saw the bathroom that James Earl Ray was in that he shot Dr. King.
7th grade, they study the Underground Railroad. So they then go to Canada and travel the route that Harriet Tubman traveled when she was taking slaves to freedom.
The journey started at the Belmont Museum and it took us to Ontario, Canada. We also went to a school in Canada. It's called Indian Creek. We made a lot of new friends there.
I like the museums because it was like a hands-on experience where we got to touch and actually see and feel how our ancestors felt during like traveling from the Underground Railroad to seek their freedom again.
The museums, they had a lot of pictures and artwork that explained a lot about the Underground Railroad.
It was like kind of emotional because like I had actually got the chance to walk from a slave state to a free state or a free state to a slave state.
8th grade, they study the Middle Passage and they study the African diaspora.
The purpose of this trip was pretty much to connect us with our roots so that we can actually say, well, we know about our black heritage and that we're not clueless or ignorant.
In Bahamas, we went to Freeport, we visited schools in Freeport, and when we went to Nassau, we saw the city and how it was like Philadelphia.
In Freeport, we stopped at 2 schools, Bishop Michael Elden and Sunland Academy. The first school, we had a presentation for them. We actually made a quilt to show how much we appreciate them inviting us to their school. We went through the Millionaire's Row and we saw different houses and mansions. The Queen's Staircase in Nassau, Bahamas, our ancestors actually built that by hand, no tools that we have today. So it was kind of like breathtaking seeing that.
Our ancestors was taken from where they normally lived at and traveled across to be slaves, and how some of them jumped off to kill themselves, knowing that the sharks were coming.
One of our last days on the ship, we did something called an ancestral reflection, where we actually took the time to have a moment of silence for our ancestors as we passed over most of their graves on the ocean.
We were told to call out anybody's name that passed and that helped us to be where we are today, and anybody that we look up to as a role model or hero. And he had cups of water, and every name we called out, he poured it into the ocean. So it was like pouring back what they gave us.
I learned that our ancestors went through a hard journey to actually get where we are right now, and I learned that because of them, we are who we are today.
One thing I liked about this excursion is the food and most activities that I would have never done in Philadelphia.
It allows them to understand what freedom really means and how they then have the ability to travel this world and go see it if they wish.
It told me that I can do whatever I want to do, only if I stick to it and achieve it.
I can say I'm an international traveler now.
Their motto is to prepare a future leader of the world. And I've been attending GLA since 2nd grade, and I think that they have prepared me.
I'm lucky to be in GLA because lots of kids don't have the opportunity to come to excursions and come to great schools like this.